Hello, everyone. Sorry about the 1 minute delay. I was getting some cream of wheat because I felt like having a little snack before stream. It is a delicious thing, cream of wheat, I must say. Sweetest, one of the sweetest things on there. Okay. So, we got some announcements. Pretty soon, there will be a poll on the Discord server to decide what our celebration streams will be. I already know the first one. And what I'm going to do at 1,000 subscribers. However, the rest of them I'll put up to you guys. I actually put peanut butter in my cream of wheat, thicken it up a little bit and give it a kind of a different taste. Now then. Let's get out of this shithole, shall we? So, found this little area up here. Killed everyone. Forgot where the key was last stream. I wanted to pick it up, but it's just in this little area right next to the gramophone where this ladder is. I could not see that ladder because it blends in really fucking well with the environment. You can see. It has a very similar texture to the... It has a very similar texture to the wall. Crab died. Carb died, yeah. Carb. Sorry, I was thinking about seafood. Oh boy, I love me some seafood. Anything that swims in the water, I'll at least try and eat. A lot of fish are poisonous, sadly, so it usually doesn't end too well. What is that? An item on that leg. There we go. We can finally make it the fuck out of here. Yeah, but then again, it's Florida, so that's an issue. Sweetest water. No, I'm feeling good now. Holy fuck, I can think again. Okay. So, like I was saying, we're going to be doing a poll pretty soon on the Discord, so if anyone joins it, can be part of it. I suppose, like, Bugden. Oh, yes. The crystal bliss. Hello. The crystal place. Putting out the earth spells. Damn you. Gotta get to him, gotta get to him, gotta get to him, gotta get to him. Don't have any healings, I'm just going in here raw. So yeah. Lionfish. I hear they have a weird texture though. I don't know. They have a really weird texture. I don't know about it. It might be difficult to eat with anything. Maybe if you make it into a soup. Hard to say. I guess this. Let's we'll switch sides so we can get to different places. I switched it because there is something up here. No, from the other side. No, it's not. Where is it? Well, that's a hard one. I'm part of a pretty long-standing D&D group, right? I could give you the answer, which kind of we all disagree on. And so I'm part of a long-standing D&D group. I joined it a couple of months ago. And they operate in a pretty strange way, I'll say that much. They operate in a very strange way. Just a minute. They operate in a pretty strange way, and it is quite baffling to me. Nothing wrong with it, of course, it's just not something I really understand. Basically, with these guys... basically, with these guys... The narrative... I think this cream of wheat. The narrative is more important than the game mechanics, right? Alright. And that is something I disagree with heavily. I don't think I could disagree with it more. The narrative is more important than the game mechanics, so they'll twist the game mechanics to fit the narrative at the time, and I heavily disagree with that. I think that if you want to do that, you can go play some fucking roleplay around the game. Without any dice or anything, you just say what happens. There are some games like that. It's called Clue. For me, game mechanics take precedence. It's kind of difficult to get used to. It's beyond that, right? It's not the rulings, right? It's not the rulings. It's not the rulings. The rulings aren't my issue. Not at all. When it comes to the rules in combat and everything, right? It's alright. Like, it's just standard 5e with a couple extensions to make things more interesting. We use spell points instead of spell slots, which has admittedly become quite confusing to some of us that are multi-classing casters because of how spell slot evolution works between casters. But don't worry about that. That is, as I have found out, its own confusing mess of nonsense. If you don't know how that works, just like look it up. It is confusing as hell. But there it is. I knew this was twinkling tight. But the thing is, they like the story to mean something to the mechanics, which is just a very bad way to look, in my opinion. The story is the story. The mechanics are what help the story exist. Now, I know a lot of people disagree with me, and those people are very ambitious. But it needs to be done correctly. If you're going to have the story matter to the mechanics, I'd say make it more meaningful. Instead of just stuff happening when you say it, make mechanics that interact with the story. That way they can be manipulated and understood by everyone. Now, I've known the person who's DMing for a while, so I've never personally had any trouble in the campaign. But I noticed a lot of the players have. And that kind of makes me sad, because I am the white mage, and I want to make sure they do well. So, you know how it works. Other than major groups that I'm in, I'm not in too many, like, large major groups, per se. At least not. It's the flavor game. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I can't really think of any. Random encounters are a very intensive thing, right? I mean, my god. Like, personally, how I make random encounters is that it's a very stressful experience for myself when making them, but they're very important, right? How I do random encounters is I try and make them fit with the area, absolutely, the time that everything is happening. And I don't use tables that are pre-made, I use tables that I personally make for that period in the campaign. It makes the world feel a lot more alive and allows the players to get a better grasp of the story you're trying to tell. And I think they are absolutely important. They're absolutely important. The thing is, I've noticed that... The thing is, right, I've noticed that my players... Because of how I make random encounters attached to the world in such an intricate way, my players will be often swamped with loads and loads and loads of side quests very quickly. Very, very quickly. Which, you know, is not a bad thing, but because of how many I put in the campaign, a lot of them say they wish they could have more time just playing the campaign. And keep in mind, these campaigns are 2 years long. I'm just gonna get murdered again. So, random encounters could be a very good way to tell a story and engage the players in the story a bit more. So these just go. Yeah, like they're really good, right? It's more, hell, it could just be something small. Like if there's a war going on, you can find a fucking, like, a young dragon flying across, just avoiding the war. I don't like making up stuff on the spot as a DM, so that's why I personally do that. I hate improvising, I always hate it. But no, so if you're a DM that's okay with that, good at it, then fit it in, make it work. That's how you do. Like, tell you about the bleach. Ah! I'll tell you about a random encounter that happened very early in the Bleach game. Right? So, one of the players, very early in the campaign, as he was wandering across Katakura, right? As he was wandering across Katakura town. At the first day of the campaign has its own random encounter chart, right? Because the first day of the campaign, a lot of stuff happens. Nothing the players really bear witness to too often, but stuff still happens, right? And on this first day, Lysie was there. Pretty sure you can't fast travel or Kindle. At least I'm pretty sure. I know you can't fast travel. I'm pretty sure you can't. So, traveling on the road. Hunting could be a good place to do random encounters. Honestly, the best time to do random encounters in a campaign in general isn't just like while they're traveling, although they can be pretty fun sometimes. If you have a bunch of, like, hey, a bot. It's the same website again. Please. I have the fucking thing removed. So, where the fuck am I supposed to go? I actually kind of forget. Oh my god, I'm just outside of his range. Not quite. I'm just inside of it. Damn bots, and so many of them. But yeah, like I was saying. The best time to do a random encounter... Okay, well, my campaigns are very intricate. They're very exhausting. It was made today, specifically to harass small Twitch streamers like me. I mean, fair enough, I guess. Whoa, he has iframes and stuff. There we go. So... Ouch. What? That was not my shield side, damn. That's not a great shield, so I should have probably expected that. Go around him. But, yeah. random encounters, that's kind of how I handle them. I make them important to the story, and if I don't, I'll just have like a whole bunch of like miscellaneous random encounters. Okay. What the fuck? I'll have a whole bunch of like miscellaneous random encounters that kind of fill out the world. Like I was saying, like in the Bleach campaign, one of the players wandering on his own in Katakura Town ran into a very important NPC who would become one of the final bosses later on, while she was just in her off time, right? They didn't know anything about her. They didn't know who she was. They didn't think anything of it, but she was just in her off time. And they ran into her, and she became infamous in the group later on. There was stuff like that. Fill out the world with random encounters. They don't all have to be connected to a quest as well. Sometimes it can just be random. Like the time the group in the Naruto campaign just so happened to come across a group of construction workers who were all drunk and sad. Just how it is. But if your party really has nothing to do, you can throw in a random encounter to drag them into something. That would be good. Like a story, though. Oh, shit. Where did this... Yeah, that's good stuff to, like, make the world feel alive, you know, they put them into it. Oh. Buy the hammer. Let me try and find the way out here. There is like a secret passage around here. I forget where it is. See, I like to introduce like full-on NPCs and such. Although I have had a couple animal random encounters, like the fucking monkeys. That was pretty funny. The fucking high-lipped monkeys. That was just the most random thing in the world, though. I know there's a thing here. There is a secret wall in this particular room. This wall is suspicious to me. Why does it have like a different tint? No. I remember. It's not a secret wall. It's not a secret wall. It's not a secret wall. It's a fucking... It's a thingy. It's a clue wall. I forget where they are. I'm just one-shot these guys. Standard attack. Okay. Yeah, like seriously. Like, I guess like in some cases you can kind of make it work. But they're just the random encounter tables they give you are just insane. Right? They're just crazy. It's just like, it goes from like, oh, you know, it is your one-half random animal that's just kind of here, to
like 2 adult dragons, which is like a fucking boss fight. That is like a big boss fight that you would do at like the end of a long dungeon. You really got to make your own tables. If you wanna... Oh, hi, Koge. Your treats are right there, baby. He's not interested. Okay. I have done some of those in the past, and you can while he is firing much faster. Yeah, like 2 adult dragons is pretty bad. It depends on the level. If it's a full, like, 4-man level 20 party, sure, I guess. If you want to put that in there, they can absolutely handle that. They're level 20. But, like, level 10, or even like 15, depending on the subclass. That's pretty bad. That's pretty fucking awful. Yeah, that is a deadly, deadly, deadly encounter. I forget how to get out of here. This place is like a maze. Purposefully, of course. Okay, so this bonfire is here. This bonfire is kind of a nexus point where we gotta go to a lot of places. We actually have to get down there. That is a place we have to go to. But I forget, you can kind of see there's like a door. I don't know, it's on the opposite side of this. Well, that is a place. I mean, yeah, it's still kind of crazy. Without you planning it, it's like those dragons should have like... These dragons are big, right? Sure, they can be stealthy. Big, they move a lot of stuff if they're moving long distances. It's really, really important. Like, it's a big animal. It's very powerful. People will notice it. Although I rarely use dragons. They are fun. But it's just throwing 2 aggressive dragons at the party is a little bit ridiculous. If we ever do the fantasy campaign, you'll see. So I do have like a proper fantasy campaign set in its own world. So you'll see what I mean by that. That's kind of boring. I feel like... okay. I feel like dragons themselves, to use them properly, they need to almost be a plot device. Wow, that is a 2% drop. Damn. It's also useless. It's one of the worst weapons in the game, I think. I'm pretty sure. But to use a dragon properly, they have to be like a fucking plot device. Which I feel is sad. But just because of how like powerful they are, they have to be a plot device. You're never going to be able to use them in just like casual play, I guess you could say. They have to be a plot device or else like you're never going to get anywhere. Hmm? like hell. Even like, why would there be there? I fucking hate these guys. Like, dragons rarely stick together as well. Like, dragons have to... What the fuck happened? Oh, the fucking archer. I thought I killed him. There we go. Crystal sword. I cannot wait till we get to Dark Souls 2, by the way. That's gonna be fun. That is gonna be fun. What do you mean, like martial class combat? Non-wizard content. Oh, I thought you were talking about martial classes. A lot of it is okay. I feel like a lot of it is like... The thing is, like, about like the UA stuff. There is a lot of it, first of all. And sometimes it gets a little bit... Oh, damn, nice. It can get a little bit dumb at times. I really like some of the add-on books and the additional books that you can get. I've bought them. But I feel like Homebrew is alright, but like other companies trying to do what Wizard is doing as well, I feel like they don't do it too well too often. Just simply because of like the nature of it, right? Well, there is actually like a little thing I should probably get to. The nature of D&D is it is a, especially 5e, it is like a delicate balancing where you have to understand a lot of like random nonsense. Well, he's just white enough. A lot of random nonsense in the game to be able to do it better. You have to understand and like balance it. Like the feat Thrown Weapon Master, right? That feat is insane. It basically makes thrown... What the fuck? I don't know how to get out of here. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to go up and around. That's what this fucking puzzle is for. Unless this puzzle is literally just made to give you some random items. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't fit through that gap? Isn't it like so... Oh! Give me a second. Okay, sorry. So... Kickstarter and fan-made ones can be pretty good. Especially when they're properly published. But like stuff like UA... It gets a little bit complex too fast, and it doesn't interact with the base stuff very well. I feel like it's still really good, though. I still enjoy it quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy UA and everything. For me, though, for someone who's just running a pretty standard campaign, even if it's like in a custom world, right? Those are really cool. They're just extra stuff. Not only just extra stuff, but extra rulings that can make things easier. Like the falling rules, right? And just like guns and shit, which is like it's not like base D&D has guns. 3 of them. And there's no subclasses, right? But like extra fan-made content is really good. The fans know what they're doing. They know how to balance this stuff. Oh, that's actually pretty funny because there was a tornado. Oh yeah, you and one of my players like live less than fucking 30 minutes from each other. Where am I supposed to go? I forgot about that. You and one of my players live like 30 minutes from each other. He's been dealing with a lot of tornadoes as well. Haven't seen him personally. Okay, where the fuck am I supposed to go? I think that's good stuff. I like Renegade is a really cool class. As much as no one liked it, I do like Modern Fantasy. The stuff they did for Modern Fantasy. That was really good. Tornadoes. If I can't find my way out of here in a couple minutes, I'm just gonna look it up. I do not remember where to go. Crystal sword. Let me actually check that weapon. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the worst weapons in the set. Ah! Ooh. Is there an archer behind? Where? Oh, there's one right there. There we go. Pretty damn close. Like, we're 75th the way there. Keep in mind, once we beat Seth... I'm trying to think. Once we beat Seth, the boss of this dungeon, we can technically go straight to the final boss. There are 3... Technically not. We do need to do, like, one more thing. There are 6 bosses we have to beat. 6 bosses. So this game is almost done, right? There are 6 bosses that we're left to have to beat. That's about it. That's why I'm trying to get to this area. Because I fucking hate this area so much. I just hate the way it looks. Which is something special. I'm usually not too vain, but this place just looks awful. What I am going to do is I'm going to look up. So in total we have the bosses we still have to beat are the Wolf, Seth, the Kings, Artorias, Manus, the Dragon, and the Lord of Cinder. So in total there's 7. We have 7 bosses. Yeah, plus it's just a really sickly color as well. God damn it. Okay, it's I need to, there's the bonfire right there. Like I was saying. It really does. It really does. It really has a like weird sort of anti-glow to it. It's very irritating to look at. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that thing. I just looked up a guide on how to get through the area, because I completely forgot. There is actually a mimic in here. Yeah, let's go. No, there is actually a mimic in here that we forgot to fight. So, ow, an arrow. And there's a mimic right over there. Or there isn't. Maybe I already killed him. Nope. Fuck. Raven. Oh, you can actually kindle that bonfire. Okay. I'm just literally just looking at a guide. Ah, okay. That makes more sense now. Sorry about that, Drake. Go ahead and just like real quickly take a glance at. Yeah, the patterning on the floor and the patterning on the walls is really irritating to look at. There's a chest right there. I didn't even know about that. Let me go get that. The pattern on the walls and the pattern on the floor is really irritating to look at. I really don't like the pattern on the walls, specifically. Because that just looks disgusting. It looks very tacky. Which way is this way? There we go. Gotta get up and around. Up and around. Up and around. Ooh, hello. There. Right here. This is where we're supposed to go. And then we drop down here. Yeah, this is where we're supposed to go. Okay. No doubt. I mean, yes, that is true. Seath is kind of an asshole. Just to everyone. He's just kind of an asshole to everyone. Although, maybe there's a reason for that. Yes, maybe. Maybe there's a reason he's such an asshole. I can think of one. God damn it. Cease with this pathetic behavior. Ugh. Wow. No. So the story of Seath is not a fun one. Let me tell you his story, shall I, Draco? So it all begins when Seath was young. So, alright. For this, I have to explain the story of Dark Souls. I know, I saw. He's just giving all of his allies a buff, but it doesn't matter because they're all gonna die soon. See how he does a little bit more damage? So to explain Seath's full story, I actually have to explain a part of the Dark Souls lore. It's not just Seath. So there was once a time where dragons ruled everything. Literally, everything. The whole entire multiverse was under their control because they were one of the only creatures in existence. The only creatures which existed outside of that were the gods. Like, extra powerful humanoid creatures is how I describe them. They were humans with unbelievable power. And these are the people we are slaughtering. You know that big princess or like that femboy that I murdered in that hallway, right? Those guys that I killed, those were gods. That fucking femboy who kept extending the hallway and kept making me chase after him while he shot shit at me. Yeah, that was a god. And these gods, they were prone to creation. Right. And they were powerful. But they weren't as strong as the dragons were, because the dragons had evolved. Keep in mind, in this world there was magic, but there was no power of belief. Belief held no power in the world, right? So the world, it's called the Age of Grey for a reason. Belief held no real power, and it was, the entire world was all just one temperature. And magic was the only production of light. Nothing would produce light unless it was magic. There were also the undead. The undead had arisen from the grudge of the living. Further than that, there were the witches of Isolith, who were witches studying the human spirit, specifically a race known as the Pygmies. We are the Pygmies. Humans, as we know them, are pygmies. That's what they call us in lore. And we are the weakest of the races. God, he has like a deceptive hitbox. We are the weakest of all the races. The dragons ruled everything. Everything bowed to them. The gods, the pygmies, everyone. They had evolved in... Oh, fucking nice. Symbol of Ivory. Adverse, sorry. Is one of the strongest items in the game. We'll get to that later, once I'm done with the lore. They had evolved the incredible ability where their scales made them truly immortal. They were unbreakable and impossible to die. They were impossible to die. They were impossible to kill. They were impossible for them to die through age. They were just eternal. This is the age. This is why they're called the Eternal Dragons. Now, obviously, being ruled over, no one except the dragons liked this living situation. So they changed it. But have a collective soul. We'll get into that. Kind of. Dragons are one of those species where souls interact with them really weirdly because of what happens later on. But basically, afterwards, the fire came. The first flame, specifically. Now, if you read deep into Dark Souls lore, you will know that there is a fucking ladder that clipped through the wall right there. Oh, it's the shadow of the ladder. That looks so weird. You will know that everything is basically a cycle, and everything, the entire universe basically resets on itself when the fire extinguishes. And it keeps going. Kind of. Humanity hadn't existed yet. Well, it had, but not in a tangible form until Manus came along. Like, humanity didn't exist in, like, a tangible form, like a physical power. Although undead, what my character currently is, this kind of look, that's what we're supposed to look like. I'll get to that later. So, the fire came. The fire was life. It was essence. It was change. It was heat. The Age of Fire began, and Gwen, one of the gods, killed the dragons. He slayed them. This is where Seath comes in. Seath is one of the dragons. But unlike every other dragon, it is thought that the first flame was the reason he was born like this. Unlike every other dragon, he was born without scales. So he wasn't immortal, he could die of age, and he could be harmed. His fellow dragons thought him as disgusting for this, and they did not like him very much. So Seath, the person whose house this is, betrayed them in favor of the gods, Gwen. But the gods, Gwen, and their power came from a specific source, known as Lord Souls, what we've been collecting through the game. Lord Souls... Oh, sorry, I had to concentrate to avoid that attack. It'll hit you even if you're blocking. Lord Souls are the originals. Souls that were given out by the first flame, and there are 4 of them. There is the soul given to Gwen, which is commonly referred to as the bonfire soul, as it was the first soul ever fed to the bonfire. It had the power of sunlight. It was also the strongest, technically the strongest soul. It was so powerful that it could basically empower people and control the flame itself. Otherwise, it could also control time. The flame can control time. The first flame embodies time. The first flame embodies time itself. Without the first flame, there is no time. Time doesn't pass. So, there was the first flame. Then, the second soul given was the Witches of Izalith. The Witches of Izalith is an all-female species that relies off the pygmies for reproduction. They are incredibly powerful pyromancers, and incredibly dangerous. Their soul was so powerful through them harnessing it that it created a second flame. The Chaos Flame, which spawned demons. It spawned demons. It spawned horrifying creatures from its incredible power. There he is, down there. That's Seath right down there. It spawned... It spawned incredible power, right? And it was one of the strongest things in existence. It began to grow out of control. And eventually, as we learned, mutated. Remember that spider girl? Let me go. This one? This is one of the original daughters. It mutated Izalith and her daughters into these kinds of creatures. They're incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous. All of these eggs were spawned from her. They were dangerous, dangerous creatures. So, next up was the Soul of the Dead. Soul of the Dead belonged to Nito. There were those that lived in death. Those who still had power in their life. No, she's the only Firekeeper left in the entire game. If I kill her, I won't be able to upgrade my Estus Flask anymore, because I've killed all the other ones. So... where is it? Paint it. We're gonna do square, I think. Because we just got this hat. This hat increases our souls. The amount of souls we can gain from killing enemies, it increases it. Don't understand how that works. There's clearly enough room for me. Yeah, increase. So we have 60% more souls. Because of the upgrades we did, we also just kind of one-shot these guys. Yeah, that's nice. Spear. And finally, Nito, well, that's not finally, but Nito had the Lord and Soul of the Dead. The undead. Not us, we're pygmies. The undead are different. They're a different species. The undead are those who live in death. The skeletons. Is basically what that means. And so on and so forth. He was the one who gained the soul. He was the most powerful of them. And the soul allowed him to control the minds of all of the undead, which he already controlled. We've already killed him, if you remember. But there is one soul left. The weakest of all the souls, actually. A woman. We don't know her name, although we know her title. What is it? It's 6. We can get 1 level. We don't know her name, but we do know her title. The goddess of sin found a soul as well, known as the Dark Soul. The Dark Soul was so powerful only because of the person who found it. While the others granted strength to their wielding, the Dark Soul was the one that was weak. It was corrupted by the Pygmies. The Pygmies had humanity. A little known force, which doesn't mean much. But the thing is, it can feed the fire so much. The goddess of sin, who would later become the goddess of sin thanks to her monumental power from the Dark Soul, found this and became known as the furtive pygmy, or the guilty pygmy, is what that means. And there you are. That is the basics. Savfk comes in because he betrayed the dragons for the gods in the war against the dragons. The dragons never treated him too well, so he just kind of hated them. In this time, however, Savfk had begun to realize just how dangerous humans were with the Dark Soul. He told this information to Gwen, the person he had been working with. Gwen became rightfully afraid of the Dark Soul, realizing that its power was tainted by darkness and that it was unstoppable. An unstoppable force, creation of darkness, the thing that he had fought against for so long. So, in an attempt to make sure humans never reach their full potential, he linked them to the flame. He linked every human's life force to the flame, so they would not be undead like this. Humans' natural state is undead. This is how we're supposed to be. But he linked us to the flame to limit us, limit our power, give us lifespan so our humanity would eventually die out, and we would become part of the dead and under Nito's control. It would give us lifespans, it would give us age, it would give us weakness. All the things we consider weakness in life. It would give us those. Almost metaphorically opening Pandora's box. So Gwen did that. But as we were linked to the power of the fire, when the fire began to fade, humanity shed its fleeting form. The power could no longer restrain the power of the dark soul. When Gwen realized this, before he linked the flame for the first time and became the first Lord of Cinder, he made a deal. Basically, he put all of those who had been cursed in a city. The Ringed City. He had already made the city previously, but he was basically bundling all the cursed humans together. That's essentially what he was doing. This city was under his control up until his death at our hands in this very game at the end of it. And he ruled until he fell, fed himself to the flame to keep the Age of Fire going, hopefully forever. But what Gwen didn't know is the fire needed humanity to continue going, and he had very little of it, if any at all. That is where the prophecies come in. Humans. We became the ones tasked with feeding the flame. We were afraid. Afraid that all of us would become undead if the flame ever went out. We didn't know, right? We didn't know that our true nature was not to be mortal. So we did as it said. We fed ourselves to the flame. Over and over. For a long fucking time, we threw ourselves into the flame. Unendingly. The only way to get to the flame is to repent. You have to bring together the souls of the lords once again. You have to bring together the Lord Souls. In each game we do this. Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3. You bring together the Lord Souls. The Lord Souls have been passed down to powerful people for a very long time, but in the end of the day, you do this. Then you get to the kindle of the first flame. Or the kiln of the first flame. And then you leave. You escape the flame. You try and snuff it out. But what no one knows throughout all of this is the flame, when it's snuffed out, restarts the cycle of life. Everything has always happened again and again, millions upon millions upon millions of times over, across trillions of years. It's a cycle. The things always are different. What no one knows is for the flame to be out for good, it needs to be snuffed out or absorbed. Someone needs to embody the first flame, or someone needs to snuff it out for good. Someone who has the flame's power, but also has the power of humanity. No one knows about this. All those who beckon the dark in the past believed the flame would go out so long as it faded, but the cycle continued. It always did. Like this guy. See how much bigger he is than a normal human? This guy's a god. That's what his species is. He's a deer. They're bigger, stronger, faster. They control different types of energy. That's the story of Dark Souls so far, but this is where we come in. We are going to put the flame out for good. And I know just how to do it. But ain't that the thing, Draco? Because the soul can be corrupted, that means the flame itself can be corrupted. And if the flame itself can be corrupted, well, that means humans can take over everything. Potentially. But what do I know? That's just a story. If any of it matters or not, well, that's a better question. There are more, though. We're stepping into the... Draco, you're still with me, right? You're following all this. It's a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. The gods are pretty much already all dead. Only their descendants remain, and their descendants are nothing compared to the originals. I knew this bookcase was weird. So... this is where the theories come in. There is a girl who is the start of all this. She looks quite young. She looks like she's fucking like 12 or something. She's very young looking for some reason. Which makes sense if you read into the lore of the universe and how time works, but we're not going to get into that because that is so incredibly complicated that I don't give enough of a fuck to explain it. But basically, there's this girl, alright? And I've said before, but she's God. This universe canonically has a god. It is a girl with a fucking 4-foot-long braid. And she is really weird. She has incredible abilities. Incredible power that a lot of creatures have nowhere near the strength of. Gwen could kill the dragons. She can create entire universes at will. Simply by gathering the correct ingredients together and painting something. She's able to create a universe, an entire reality, a multiverse even. That's how powerful she is. This girl is the one that created our reality. She created the world of the Dark Soul. If you can't tell, they're a fucking invisible platform. They will try and trick you. This guy is golden because he has an item. Oh, there's one of the butterflies. Remember these things? He also has a lot more health. Well, unfortunately it's not Dark Souls 2, so we can't do that. But we can do that in Dark Souls. In fact, I might even do like a reverse speed run or some bullshit. That would be fun. But this girl, who's... we only know her by a couple of names, but... she does have a name. Athanas is, I believe, what we call her. Or just God, because that's what she is. Oh, these damn butterflies again. I don't think it drops anything. I think it's just a waste of time. What? It went straight through it. Thought I would hit it. But basically, this girl creates everything. She's like the deity of the world. She creates things by painting, specifically. And she just, creates everything. She sees the world, right? She sees the world that she created. And realizes that it's... why did I teleport? I instinctually teleported to here. I'm a goddamn dumbass. She realizes that it is corrupted. It's bad. Well, it's not bad, it's dying. It has a limited lifespan. It's limited. It's finite. And she doesn't like this. Once she paints our world, she paints this one. This, like, painted world that I'm in, she paints this one. It's literally called the painted world. Alright? She paints that one. It's like a place for her to stay. She's in there right now. She is actually in there. But we can't find her in this game. This girl. This girl is all powerful. She paints worlds, and but she needs ingredients to do it. She recycles the paint. She recycles the existence of everything because otherwise they come from her own body. Like she literally uses her own blood and the heat of her own body to paint, which is a very gruesome idea, but whatever. So she gains unique materials from the world that she paints to paint another one. When she realizes this world is finite, she starts painting another one. We'll actually run into her in Dark Souls 3, but that's a good ways off. So, she paints. She makes. But the thing is, she needs materials. So while we are connecting the first flame trying to save this world, she's trying to make another one for everyone to live in. This is where we come in Dark Souls 3. You see, she realizes the only thing in this world which is recyclable is the first flame and things that are like the first flame. So she starts to do that. She starts to use the first flame. She grants the painting she's making heat naturally without an age of gray. She creates a world. A painted world. But god damn it. One step to the right too many. This is why I hate this area. By the way, this is just how it is. She creates this world and it's not done, right? It has light. It has heat. It has warmth. It has life. It has everything that you would normally need. But it doesn't have depth. It doesn't have dark. It doesn't have cold. It doesn't have anything like that. And she realizes that there's only one thing that can do that. There's only one thing on this earth. And all the multiverses and all the timelines and all the repeated Earths that have gone on forever and always. There's only one thing which can fill in the dark. You can probably guess what that is. I have been, yes. Although the treats are running low and he's asleep on my bed. Literally the first thing I do. The treats are on a small shelf I constructed literally next to me. I'm touching them right now. I have been keeping up with it, I remember. Just I literally just take one out of there and throw it into the pile next to him. But he normally goes to sleep this time of the day because he's a cat and that's what they do. I have a little bit more in there as well. I put a little bit more, if you were wondering. I put a little bit more treats in there just to give him some more so he can eat. Oh yeah, you can step on it as well. Blue Titan Chan. Whoa, he fucking right hooked me. Yeah, she's very loud recently because she wants to go outside because it's spring. She's very excited for it to be spring. Whoa. There we go. That guy is very dangerous. So he's very excited for it to be spring. You can probably see what I'm doing. You can also probably see why so many people fucking hate this part. Also pretty sure that's just a truck. Because these little stones I'm using, you only get 20 of them. Yeah, I just went all the way back up by accident. I didn't realize there was a bridge leading all the way down. Yeah, there's just a bridge leading all the way fucking down here. These platforms are also very narrow. You will very easily slip off and die. There's Seath down there. Okay. See, those things are falling all the way, not making contact with anything. You can kill the butterfly, but you don't get anything for it. You just get its souls. Which you don't drop too many, unfortunately. I'm just trying to get the fuck out of here, because I hate this fucking level. Oh, but don't worry! You have to do this every single fucking time. You gotta do this every single time you die. Like I was saying, you gotta do this every single fucking time you die. Woo! Yay! Okay. Sometimes you just don't know where the path is. Sometimes you just die. Sometimes you die. Whatever. That's good. Like I was saying, she needs the Dark Soul. Or something related to the Dark Soul. She needs the Dark Soul or something related to the Dark Soul to get it to work. She needs... Kind of, yeah, I fucking hate this level, bro. I mean, you can already see its gimmicks are pretty fucking stupid. Its gimmicks are real fucking stupid. There's stuff like this in Elden Ring as well, but it's nowhere near as common, and you actually get, like, stuff to, like, counter it in Elden Ring. God damn it, I hate this shit. Possibly, I don't think it feels any. Hey. You. Still asleep. There's no way there's a gap there, right? There's that blue Titanite slab. Indeed you do. You also learn to fucking walk on air. There it is. I knew this tunnel had to be somewhere. Although that looks fucking ridiculous. In Dark Souls, air walks you. Imminent. God damn it, what is this bullshit? Look at it. Look at this bullshit. What is this bullshit? Now, where am I supposed to go? Let me think. I was Sith. Oh. Yeah, that's a fall. I would say if I was this dungeon's boss, I'd just leave misleading signs everywhere. Where am I supposed to go? You're supposed to go down through here, right? No, let me read this message. Path ahead, yes. Supposed to go down through here. I swear I remember this. And it's only 7:30. Damn, it feels like I've been doing way longer than that. Ooh. That's the blue titanite slab. So way the butterfly. This you could drop down. This connects back up to there. Yeah, but he doesn't have enough. I had enough IQ for that, I guess. Where the fuck? Oh man, look at Ah. What? There's two pathways there? Fuck. Alright, Draco, you better be ready for some real-time bullshit. So remember that pathway where we got the blue titanite slab? Alright. Well, you better remember it, because that's also the way we're supposed to go, because that pathway has a dip in it, which you can follow instead. And if you do that, that's the right way to go. There's a big-ass, long, straight bridge. I never went through that cave. I always just dropped straight down. That would be a lot more difficult. I'd say the only way you could really do that is if you had a fuckload of prism stones. Or at least a lot of patience. There we go. The threshold. That looks so dumb, that just floating in the air like. Turn around, there it is, and then we go through here. And you just literally right here. Nope, there's a gap in the path there. Okay. It's there, not there. Oh, this is so dumb. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's just going to throw me off the cliff. I'll try it. At that point, you could, like, why not bring in some, like, fucking water? Or, like, some fucking paint. Like, just get a paintbrush and, like, fucking attach it to the back of your foot. And carefully just step on the path. And you'll know where you're going. And where you went. And what the fucking path is all the way back. Every time you died. Believe it or not, I'm walking on it. I'm pretty sure this is just a troll video. Almost certain. Because I'm almost certain there's no fucking pathway there. Oh, I gotta teach this butterfly a fucking lesson. Huh, okay. What? It doesn't actually have that much health. This is apparently it's a pathway right here. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, the butterfly is. That is really hard to see. God, I hate invisible puzzles. The funny part is, we're not even going down here to kill the boss necessarily. We're just going down here to kill his stone of invincibility that he has. If you notice, we couldn't actually damage him in the beginning of the dungeon, so we're just going down here to break the stone so we can damage him, and then we murder him. He found a stone as a replacement for his scales. That's why there's so many fucking crystals around, because they're all used to power this one object. Yeah, it's the thing is, like, a puzzle like this is defeated by, like, tar or paint. Or any liquid substance that can spread easily. Like, you can put holes in it, but what if it's sticky? If it's sticky, you're fucked. You can't do anything. You're gonna lube it up? I guess you could lube it up. But then there would just be a useless pathway. You couldn't get down it yourself. Also, if it was D&D, like, see invisibility is probably one of the most taken spells of all time. Plus, there's so many feats that you can take that just give you see invisibility. It's just a slightly curved pathway all the way. By the way, stones will fall through this bridge, so it's harder to find. There's the fucking item I was looking for. I knew there was another soul of a hero around here. Like tar and stuff? I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen a couple players pick it up, but very rarely. But like see invisibility, pretty much every party's gonna have it. I don't know why the clams are here. They're not too irritating. Their attacks are very slow. Yeah, they also get fucked by bludgeoning damage. The first few spells that I see players always prioritize are Silvery Barb, See Invisibility, and Counterspell. Like tar? I think like depending on what packs your players have, maybe they could make it, or how like ink would also do. And maybe someone uses a vial of ink and a really thin brush to like create a very thin line. There's the fucking stone. This stone gives Seath immortality. Can't actually hurt him unless it's broken. He's not happy about that, as you'll see in a moment. As you can see, he has no scales, just skin. And we actually cannot damage him. at all. See, you can technically damage him, but he just has. Yeah. This is the stone. This is what grants him more. Now he's mortal. You can technically damage him. He has an amount of health. Because when the fuck does he give you petrification? That is not something I remember. Used it again. That is a very irritating attack. Ow. Huh? Oh, there's another Lord Sword. I think this is the last one. It's a key. Yeah, it's Soul of Sith Scales. Been good at the Lord Sword. This very powerful. Now, unfortunately, no, we're at 43 though. We're close. Very close. Tornado watch just in case. Yeah, it's pretty important. Tornadoes be fucking annoying. Good health bar. Okay. A warp. Fucking. And Orlando, really. And where the princess. We wanna give the giant his thingy. That he can make stuff for us. This is Ornstein's elevator. The big one over there smells because he's a big man. Big man. Big plans. Oh yeah? Go on, why? Oh, can I explain why they fell into dust? What do you mean, like, the bosses? Well, okay. Ooh. Oh, it's my own fucking shadow. Give me a sec, let me give this guy that thingy. There we go, and now I believe we can purchase from him? No. We purchase from him, nothing else. Modify equipment, no. Reinforce equipment, no. Armor. No repair. Okay. Modify equipment. So we can make crystal weapons now. Crystal weapons aren't the best.
I mean, they're okay. So, crystal weapons, what they do is it gives them somewhat better scaling overall, as you can see. It also just makes them stronger. So, it's okay. In other Souls games, they work a little bit differently, but I also think that's it. So, let me look up where you get the boss souls from. Okay, where's the transposing thing? Give me a second. Okay, so here we go. Starting the basic Titanite shards. Okay, here we are. This is how you do it. Okay, hold on. Let me read. Okay. This is Ascension weaponry. I see. That is very, very weird. That is very, very strange. Sort of notorious. Okay, that's a really weird way to do that. I see why they abandoned that now. I didn't even remember you have to do this shit. There is a weapon we could potentially use. Okay, hold on. I still have to look stuff up here. Hold on. Okay, so we need to get one of the. I'm looking up how to get another weapon we could potentially use. So we need to get a great hammer, and to get a great hammer for a forger, we need a great hammer. So, do we have any great hammers? We have, like, the thingy, don't we? Yeah, we have the thingy. Hold on, Draco. There we go. Move. I don't know how the system works.
Is that not a +10 Great Hammer? +5. Okay, so let me explain something, Draco. In this game, to get boss weapons, you need to take a weapon and turn it into a different weapon. I know, it's fucking stupid. So basically, for me to get the hammer that I want, I need to upgrade this weapon to +5. Or +10. Which I cannot do at this blacksmith. My god. Why they gotta make this so unreasonably annoying. Alright, so basically, if I want to get Smoke's hammer, which is the weapon I want, right? I have to go back to the original blacksmith in the Starlight Altar. But he's near the Starlight Altar. And then, once I do that, I can upgrade it. By spending some souls, I can then upgrade it to a +10. And then I can spend another 5,000 in Smoke Soul to get his hammer by turning that into that one. Okay. Okay, what's... As far as why they turn to dust, I think there's like... I'm pretty sure it's because it is stated that you are truly alone in this world. Everyone you see and everything, like big bosses and enemies, they phase out of reality at random. I believe that is actually stated in Dark Souls. Bosses knocked down. Use boss weapons, demon titanite. So we want to modify. We want to use large titanite shard on this. That will make it a +6. Correct? Yes, and now we can so. Okay, war. Chamber of the Princess. Yeah, because he sells large. We're good. Alright. Alright, let's continue. The reason we want this hammer in particular, because it's just kind of better. It's just better than the one we have in a good few ways. The reason is our weapon is very poor when it comes to scaling. It has a D, it has a low D, while this one has a high D. Also, because it has no requirement, and because it has a 40 of a requirement, it's actually lower. Purchase. You sell type. Use some of these souls. Some of these souls. Go. And then we want to use more souls. They revamped the upgrade system in Dark Souls 2, and I think that's the only reason the upgrade system in Dark Souls 3 is so good other than Bloodborne, because upgrade system in Dark Souls 1, not good. Not very good at all. There it is. So now we've done that, we can go to this. There it is. Smoke's Hammer. No, so this is our boss weapon right here. And here it is. Much heavier. Not sure. Huh? Because when were you there? Well, you ate all your treats. Oh, my back. Mog's Hammer. So as you can see, it requires 58 strength, which we will be training. It is fucking gigantic. It is a very large weapon and is very powerful. Yeah, but this one has better scaling than the Dragon's Tooth. And I do want to train some more, grind a little bit more. No, I've been working with the Dragon's Tooth a lot as well. Plus, I've got plenty of stuff. I can downgrade my armor. Because I've noticed that late game, a lot of stuff is just going to hit you anyways. I can downgrade my armor and shield to make room for it. Let's take off the shield. I believe we can do it. Yes. Plus, it has better scaling than the Dragon Tooth. And it's beautiful. Oh, there's that Titanite chunk. And unlike Dragon Tooth, in real life, absolutely, there's no use for something this large. Now we can upgrade it with our Demon Titanite that we haven't had any use for the whole game. There we go. Now it's just stronger than our previous one. 609. Hard path? Yeah, kinda. It's been pretty easy, although. We only need 18 more levels as well. We are kinda under-leveled, but whatever. Yeah, but it's better than the Dragon's Tooth. I literally looked it up. The Dragon's Tooth is a low D. This is a high D. The Dragon's Tooth has lower base damage, this one has higher base damage. The trade-off is that it's much heavier, which we can compensate. Plus, its attacks are slower, but they hit a lot harder. And yeah, we can't use it with one hand. Well, that's this. It's fun. Come on, giving enemies the big bonk, that's all the rage. I believe that there's actually a thing, it's called Sword and Sorcery. wants to test it out on unsuspecting victims. I know I do. Those stats, I wanted to do something untraditional. So I just had some fun with it. Yeah, I didn't want to do anything like truly meta. So I just had a little bit of fun with it, you know? Yeah, good endurance, good strength, just a little bit of dexterity, just kind of like fun maxing. Because if I want to just beat this game, I would just go an intelligence build. An intelligence and strength build. And just start fucking coding every weapon I have in a fucking crystal magic weapon. Or intelligence dex build. And just use moonlight blade. And I would beat the entire game like that, hands down, easily. Because, like... Not something. Moonlight Blade, the spell, is like one of the best spells in the entire game. Sword and sorcery. No, there's, Blade and sorcery, I believe the actual ones. There's a VR game. Warp, we're going to... Technically Firelink is where we gotta go next, but I'm gonna go... Yeah, it's just how it is, man. It's a lot of fun. No, not all of them. A lot of them are very good, yes, but... You know how it is. Fram.
No, I'm fine. Well and wide awake. Do not treat me like an old withering snake.
God, you and your chewing tobacco. Look at the fucking size of his nose. Hello, Fram.
Very well.
Now he shall eat me. No. Nah, we still need him. Anyways. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Almost there. One boss left. Before that, it's time to betray all of our friends. Time to betray all of our friends. So, remember how we're in that covenant? None. Not anymore. Who's ready to betray our friends? Sometimes you just grow out of them. What can I say? Sometimes you just grow out of them. Sometimes you just grow out. We're about to kill a dog. If you're not okay with that, stop watching, because it is a very gruesome, very depressing fight. But it is actually what we have to do to beat the game. We cannot beat the game without doing this. If everyone's ready, it's time to betray our covenant and become the Lord of Darkness. So, basically, we gotta go kill Sith now. There is a dog, very powerful, very late into this area. We've already been to where he is, where we couldn't defeat him. Now we probably easily. It might give us a little bit of trouble, but otherwise it should be. Unfortunately, we can't actually, like, we cannot have access to the other, like, the stronger strength-based weapons, because we've missed, like, we didn't get lucky. Because the two strongest strength-based weapons in the game, you have to get lucky to get, right? As you can see, these guys are passive for us. Well, that's not going to be fun. We're about to betray every single one. There's nothing they can do to fucking stop us. You'd need hide form. You need hide form. His weapons and stuff do poke out quite a bit. We're about to betray all of our friends and do the one thing we swore we would never do because oaths mean nothing to us. We are beyond them. You actually have to do this to get the name as well. I do believe you can just open the storage. Indeed. And here he is. Who is ready to kill a dog? A very sad fight. Sit. Woo! 700. Works for me. As you can see, he's quite agile. And he hits really hard. One of the reasons we probably couldn't have done this boss fight in the past. We could do this for a while, basically since the start of the game. The thing is about this boss is despite his incredible power, I'll let you see it. Watch this. Watch what he does. Need one more good smack on him. See what I mean? If I get close to him. Time to end this. Anything to be killed. The Hornet Ring. That's what anything to be killed. some points in the strength, shall we? Boop. Beautiful. I love this weapon. It's so dumb. You can just go Oomga Boomga and smack someone really hard and they die. Okay. The forest hunters now will hate us. But, as you saw there, we got a ring. Where is it? We got the Hornet ring. Boosts critical attacks. As in backstabs. We also got this. Covenant Artorias ring. Reverse Abyss. This will allow us to fight another boss. It's not good for us, because we actually have to wear it. And as you can see, if we're not wearing it, or we're not wearing our full ring, I think we actually have to take off our armor. Yeah. So, that's gonna be a bit of a bitch, but that's not for right now. Right now, we have another thing to kill. We're going to Firelink Shrub. Who's ready? Who's ready? So, we're going into the DLC. Second DLC. At least I'm pretty sure I remember the steps. Pretty sure. Boonga Boonga. Hits it really hard with a hammer. It's so blunt, it would just, like, if you wanted to kill anything with it, you just have to crush it. Like, literally crush it to pieces. There we go. First, we're going to go through this area before we access the DLC. We'll access the DLC tomorrow, I'm thinking. Because it's actually, like, a bit of a fucking pain in the ass. So, you know what? Who wants to go into an area where I can't even use this weapon? Because there are a bunch of ghosts everywhere. Can't hurt these guys. As you can see, they also like to slit your throat. They also go through physical objects, including walls. The best thing to do in this area is to just run straight through it and say, fuck it. They can see you from very far away. They appear from the ground. They go through walls. And they're fucking everywhere. Despite not being able to be touched, they can still hit your ass and body block you from getting away. Probably. He also was probably just working on his PC. He's been having PC troubles recently. There's the parrying dagger, which is an alright offhand weapon, but go. We got a shitload of them following us now because they infinitely follow you and they go through solid objects. Yep, this is Dark Souls right here. Whoever said anything about fighting back. Ow. Very precarious situation if you get trapped in there. It's basically death. If I didn't have such good armor and such good, like, you know, health. Funnily enough, I've only spoken to him 3 times this week, so probably. Grab. Now there is... You can hurt these women with magic. As you can see, there's a fucking horde of them following me. You can hurt them with magic, and if you kill enough of them, they have a chance to drop one of their daggers, and their daggers are one of the only weapons in the entire game that can hurt them, like actually hurt them. Otherwise, you can't actually do damage to them. This one right here is a special one as well. Get killing? Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any magic. Hello, sir. Do I need to bludgeon you to death? No. Okay. There it is. You gotta talk to that guy, he'll give you a key. Jump down this long hole. Take a sip. I actually think the red-eyed one can be hurt anyway. Although I'm not sticking around to test it. As you can see, not a fun place to be. And they can they have wall hacks, so they just hit you through solid objects. Oh no, I have to turn back into the horde. Huh. Nope, okay, I'm dead. Yeah, that's how this area goes. At least we got the key, which means we're basically done with this. I think that's a good place to end the stream. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye, everyone.